Well, top of the morning to you. You've reached the Tasmania Reactions channel. Like, subscribe, comment if you can. Hope you're all having a good weekend. Gonna go ahead and react to this short that came up from this female lawyer out of happens to be in California, but got me kind of going a little bit. And I talked to another guy who's been married for a while and at work a little bit. He told me some extra stories that he was aware of, not his personally, but people that he knew. So let's go ahead and get into it so you know what I'm talking about. Here we go.
True or false, somebody can handwrite some allegations against you on a scrap of paper, and within a few hours, you can be homeless. You can be unable to see your kids for 21 days without even being able to tell your side of the story. In California, it's true. That's what a domestic violence restraining order is.
Okay. So that's kind of crazy. It's kind of outrageous as far as I'm concerned. On a scrap piece of paper, somebody writes something, and in 21 days, you could be kicked out of your house, not be able to see your kids, just because of what somebody wrote. You haven't even been able to have your side heard. Didn't even sound like you needed any physical evidence. No. So, like I was saying, I was talking to a friend of mine, and then he was talking about a couple of friends of his who've gone through some stuff. One of them's divorced, I think, and one of them are still together. But to start off this video, I mean, do not get me wrong. There are some evil people out there, and it does go both ways. There's some women out there who also abuse their husband physically and stuff like that. But obviously, most of the times it's going to be the man that's going to be the aggressor, which is totally understandable, and in a way is understandable of how the way cops handle things. That's why I get a little irritated on like racial profiling and stuff. I mean, I understand that there's bad cops out there, but ultimately there's a reason why there's biases here and there. It's because they work the streets, for quite a while, and it's just instincts take over to protect yourselves. That's why other videos I said about traffic stops, just from history and things that I've done in my past, not necessarily on the bad side, occupations that I used to hold. It's very important for you to keep your side in control, and hopefully you can't control what the cop's going to do. You can't control what kind of a person the cop is, but you can control your side. Like I said, for instance, as soon as you get pulled over, if it's at night, turn on your lights, roll down all your windows. I'm sure some of us have some type of tint anyways. Roll them down early. Don't roll them when they're walking, because then that makes it look like maybe you're going to pull out a gun. No. Roll down all your windows, turn on your interior lights, put your hands up on top of the, shoot, if you can, touch the windshield, and that way you probably even get, if a guy was upset or having a bad time, most of the time he's going to be like, man, I appreciate this person's already trying to keep me at ease, because I would say cops don't want to shoot anybody. They don't want to go home to that. They don't want to be scared. They come up and everything's cool. Man, a lot of times they would even appreciate that, and like more of a chance you're going to get off with a warning if you keep your side cool. Just not all of a sudden they start yelling at them. You could question them when you're in there. The last one I did, I was armed, and let the cop know it immediately, and I felt I cut the light chancy, but I was in the intersection and I still saw it. I didn't see it turn red. I know it was about to, but I didn't see it turn red, so I was pretty comfortable. I was in there. Of course, he said no, and I was saying, yeah, I'm telling you, man, I do just want to get home, but I'm telling you, I did see that it was so yellow, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, he came back and said, hey, well, do you agree to disagree, but we'll agree to disagree by me giving you a warning, and thanks for letting me know that that I had a weapon in the car, yada, yada, yada. That happened. So, but ultimately, there are reasons that cops are biased, and like I said, ultimately, most of the times, it's going to be, women that are battered by their husbands. In some case, they're battered pretty tough. batter pretty hard, and police come into some dire situations where kids have been hit, where so men are not men. I'm sorry, policemen or police people, police persons are um they deal with a lot of stuff, so they probably have some baggage, some PTSD. It might come to certain areas where they may even if things don't look the way it is and you're acting a certain way, they're most of the time they take the guy anyway if there's less evidence. But I mean, it goes both ways. But ultimately, I mean, my advice to anybody is unless you can definitely prove, I'm just mainly just talking to guys here, but I mean, it could go both ways. If you can just if there's I mean, if you have like some video evidence that she attacked you right then at that point, you guys are wearing the same thing, you could prove that it was a video taken 15 minutes ago or while she was on the phone to 911 or something like that. You definitely want to do something like that. Other than that, man, there's one lawyer I watch all the time. I watch a lot of different things, and one lawyer says, "Stop all this, all this self snitching. Anything. There's a reason why it says anything can and will be used against you. It doesn't say anything can and will help you get off. It doesn't say that. It says anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. So my answer to everybody: shut the fuck up. Plain and simple. Just shut the fuck up. You're gonna probably go anyways. So wanted to just I might not be this long, but I mean I just wanted to, because I ended up looking at a few things. I looked up some paperwork. I looked up some stories. My buddy told me some stories about his friends that have gone through some things, and I actually am gonna pull up a story that the female that just said something. She has a few stories on her. Like I said, she's a lawyer in California, here in California, and they laws are different throughout the states, but all of them are very similar still. And if they're not, go and look them up yourself so you know exactly what you're getting into. Because when you add a DV to anything, it's usually an enhanced charge. It's not a charge itself. It goes on top of whatever you're charged with. Like if I just had a problem with somebody for a night that I just met and I'm harassing them, I don't know them, so it's not really domestic violence. It's something that's domestic violence is usually some type of relationship that happened before. So it's usually somebody you know or care about. That's what I believe that's how they stamp it in most states. So it's an enhanced charge on whatever you're charged with. So like I said, if you're harassing, then it's a domestic violence on that. Is if it's a assault and battery, you like I said, I could just get in a fight with somebody I didn't know, and that's not necessarily. And I guess it can be because they end up doing it just because it's great to enhance it, but it's usually dealing with a partner. Anyways, I could be, maybe I'm wrong on that, on the DV thing. But I do believe it's something that you have to have a relationship with the person that you're getting a fight with. And that could be, say, you guys go to the same bar for a long time, but you really don't know the person. If they're like, oh, they're here all the time, they'll throw that on there just because it adds so much to it. And there's more things in here where they just add things on just because it makes you look better as a cop, and it's going to cost more money for the people that are in charge. Because I think most of these, even though they are here to protect and serve the police departments, they just love to get money. And if you're a cop that is getting the money, you're going to move up pretty well in the ranks because they're going to be like, man, that guy's always bringing home. And there may not be a quota or anything, but if you're just a guy, oh no, that guy, he's always just trying to settle things and whatever. We're hardly getting any revenue from him, blah, 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 blah. Trust me, I know that stuff goes on. I know cops. I've talked to them and they said that that's true and it kind of sucks. But if they want to go up in the ranks, they better make sure that they're getting some revenue in there. So one of their stories was, it starts this way. It started where the cops get called by the female. She dials 911. The cops come. Cops show up. the husband's pretty much, no, nothing's going on. We just had an argument. It's no big deal. We were just arguing. Really doesn't let any evidence out. Just his pretty much his continuous stance was, hey, nothing's going on. We just had an argument. Everything's okay. There's a broken iPad, and the female tells the cops that he grabbed her. She got away, and he threw the iPad at her as she went into the room to call the cops. Somehow the cops say that she's got a mark on her arm as she was grabbed. The husband, I guess, says that that he didn't see any swelling on the arm. The cops clearly said they did. Who's to say they did or not? Cops can say whatever they want. And then a lot of times, and when there's something small too, I've also heard, and it's also small, cops don't want to deal with that either. Like sometimes most times someone's going in, if not all the time, someone's going anyways, because you never want a cop have to deal with, I let him go 2 hours later, the guy or the girl killed the spouse. That's something that you never want that to happen, or terminated the spouse. That's horrible. So they usually want somebody to separate anyway. So normally the only way that they control a separation is to book somebody. So in some cases, when they come to a place where, because like I said, they, I know for a fact, cops, and you guys got to know too, see some horrendous things. But sometimes they'll come to a situation where it's really not that bad. And maybe back in the day, 20, 30 years ago, be type of thing, hey, if you guys could just go sleep it off, if you can go to have your brother come pick you up, yada, 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 just go. But that was before, people started coming back and terminating, the other, and that's horrible. So now they do rest a lot, and then plus there's also going to be money involved in that, so some money will happen. The state will get some money from it. So ultimately, when it's something simple as that, it literally just want to see which one has the better reason to go and physically be booked and taken care of, because they just want to get back out on the street. They just want to book you, get back out, and maybe help like a more serious call. I'm not saying it's not a call, but or a serious call. It's a more serious call. So something like this, pretty much they just took him because he was just saying no, nothing, and then what she admitted or what she said happened. So they take him downtown, yada yada yada. Everything happens. Well, I guess according to her, it was a case that she had, and she was allowed to repeat this. And what his side of the story, once he had a lawyer, his side of the story was he came home. She also said that he just came home angry and irate and must have just had a bad day at work and wanted to take it out on her. That's what she said. So his story is he came home and she immediately throws the iPad at him. And pretty much what had happened was the day before he set up the new iPad, and I guess he didn't realize that the iPad was still connected to his phone. So the dude said he had to work late, but in his text that his wife could read, literally was saying he was going to go do a little Netflix and chill with his work wifey, which technically probably doing more of chilling, not Netflixing. And he admitted that, yes, he was having an affair, and obviously she found out about it, so she was extremely upset. So when he came home, she threw the iPad at him, started yelling at him that he's cheating on her. She had no idea this was going on. She went to hit him after that. He did grab her by the arm, and then she went into the room and called the cops. That's what happened. Now, what ended up happening and what ended up helping him was some of the testimony had something to do with the iPad being watched by accounts, which what was playing on it. You could they actually took the computer and can see that, like, they had 2 kids, and they had asked her asked the wife on the stand, did your kids play with it? And she says yes. I gave them a half hour each, and one played this, one played that. Well, on the computer you can go through and you can see this program was open for 38 minutes, and this one was open for 24 minutes or whatever, so it was half hour. But then for 45 minutes, whatever the phone connecting message was also open for 45 minutes, so that was a 45 minutes. Well, this affair communication was taking place, so she was irate. So in short, that ended up happening. It ended up looking really good for him, and obviously not too good for her. So I believe according to her, he got off just because it was such a good investigation done. But also, so there was also some other things that went through that said also helped her through the investigation. Hold on, I'm gonna have to start this again.
True or false?
And so there was also a police report that went through that she was going to throw in, or maybe she did, to the point of saying that it was a false report by the police. So like for instance, so the police report had said that that she felt that she was attacked because he was upset, and I guess during the cam, you can get the camera's footage of the both defense and prosecutor can get the cam. And what actually had happened was the policeman said, "Do you think that he came at you just because he was angry?" She answered yes. The police report said that's what she said. That is not what she said. She just said yes to what the police guy had said. Okay. Then I think there was something that was questioned. Where's the other part? That was questioned to, I think, one of the kids, and one of the kids had even said that mommy had thrown the iPad, but yet that was said nothing in, or on the on one of the police reports, which wasn't the main guy, said that the kid said that, and on the cam it also says you hear the kid saying mommy threw the iPad, and then it kind of keeps her quiet. And of course there's swelling. Of course that's what the cops say or whatever, and maybe there was, because he did say that he grabbed her because she tried to hit him. So because of that, she said that she was going to go after a false report from the police, trying to say that for one is what she said, and then also the outcome of it also the outcome of it said the reason why the arrest happened is because she said he attacked her because he was upset. So pretty much since she never said that and just agreed with the police officer, he pretty much could possibly said that she was manipulated into making that count against the husband, because then the police officer also says, due to the statement that she said he hit her because he was angry, I arrested the husband. Well, there's false arrest right there. So I believe she also got the police officer in trouble with that. So police officers too out there, because like I said, I'm on that side. You don't want to lie. You don't want to lie at all. And some will say, well, he didn't lie because she said yes. No, you need to write in there, I said blah, 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 and she agreed to it. So for that reason, it would have been a big difference. Big difference on that. It doesn't make it as strong of a case, but it makes it a case. But as soon as he did what he just did, that made it a false arrest too. So hopefully he got in trouble for that, because that's horseshit. Also, and that was, so like I said, that was in California too. But I also pulled up some stuff, and you can look these up on just to decide what state you live in to see exactly what they do. But I believe the lady didn't want to press charges. The thing was, you got to think about it. You got to think about her side though too. Okay, Not saying that being aggressive and being violent to anybody is okay, but she just found out her husband was cheating on her. I mean, I know if guys find out that they're getting cheated on, they're going to be irate too. I never say that that's a reason to, but I can understand the situation. It's kind of like that Bill Burr thing. It's not okay to hit a woman, but can we say, that there's never a reason to, and he starts going off, and it's pretty funny. But what about, here's this woman at home with the kids, and all of a sudden she just sees that her husband's cheating on her, and a matter of fact, cheating on her right at that point, because I believe in the story, he said he had to work late. He didn't have to work late. He was doing the Netflix and chill. Well, he's like, who know what he said? He's, I just told my wife that I got to work late, so I'm clear. You want me to come over? Blah, blah. Come on, you know how that is. You can imagine how she could be upset, and sometimes that is the way that people get their feelings out, So I mean, I understand where she's coming from. So I guess later on, I don't think she wanted to press any charges, but in DV cases, the state goes after him anyways. So even while they're there, there's usually like some type of domestic violence victim intake things that they usually take, and they always go through and there's like questions on here, like how many kids do you have, how long the relationship's been, are you married, are you single, are you living together, are you dating, different things, you just live together, was there any alcohol involved? Usually the alcohol thing throws in because then more money for the state, because as soon as if you get convicted or anything beyond the, I assume there's some type of like anger management courses that you would have to take, which are usually usually a year worth of courses or something like that. I think your first offense, it's something like that. And then if you have alcohol involved, they'll probably throw in like DUI classes, alcohol classes. And the reason why I say DUI is I just think they just throw you in there. I don't think they care. They just want money. They want you to go to these DUI courses where you have to sit there and talk about your drinking issues. Because I guess both ways, driving or hitting somebody, it's the same thing. But makes it a lot easier because they just have a counselor, I guess, and you do whatever. I don't know. There might be domestic violence alcohol classes. I'm not sure. But anyway, I believe they're last I saw was like $30 to $50. I think. I don't know. Maybe $60 now. Who knows? Since I looked, because I used to look up at some of this stuff just for I don't know. Just it's good to know what's going on. Cause sometimes I don't even know. You don't even know what's going on. They ask if there's weapons in the guns in the house. I don't want to just say weapons. They do ask weapons, but they're mainly looking for guns. So they want to know if there's any guns in the house, which will be reported. And ultimately, since the guy's in charge, or the guy's being charged with it, he'll end up having to forfeit his weapons and probably won't be allowed into the house. Just kind of what she just said there, except add weapons. You're not going to be able to have weapons. You're not going to be able to be in the house. You're not going to be able to see your kids automatically, even if the wife's like, no, never mind. It was a mistake. I'm the one that did it, or I made it up. I was angry. I was upset. Yeah. So then after that usually comes with a protective order, kind of like what she was saying, which was the domestic violence. Protective order is, I think, just more of a standard, probably all around the states type thing. Like I said, she's mainly all California and stuff, but like I said, you can literally just pull this up on go to your state and pull up a protective order, anything that effect. It's all pretty much generic. They have check marks here, so it may involve you, it may not, right? So, but like one of the things is you can't threaten, abuse, harass, assault, the person that's being protected. That you need to leave the house that they're in. So if you're married and the wife is the one that does it, the husband can't come back to the house, which means it's very difficult to be able to see your kids. I think you're allowed one time, like a one time, it says here. If you contact the police department, police will come up and give you like maybe, I don't know, hopefully like maybe 30 minutes to get your stuff out while you're being watched. should have no contact, communication, anything. Let's talk in um, Snapchat, Facebook, through someone. You can't be like, hey, can you tell her this, blah blah blah. You can't do that. She can talk to you. She can contact you all she wants. She can contact you and keep contacting you and keep contacting you. And as soon as you contact her, you're in violation. She can do all she wants. Or the person. Let's put it this way. I'm doing it that the female's the one that's okay and the male's the one that's got charged. Okay, so if it goes the other way around. It's just victim and or suspect and victim and suspect, I guess, or victim and defender, how you want to look at it. May not purchase or possess firearms or ammo. That within a short period of time, we're talking, I think like 48 hours, you have to go to the court with a affidavit that shows you've given your weapons to somebody else, or your firearms to somebody else, and they've taken possession over them, and you're not with you, and like I said, you can't be in the house anyway. So, and if there was alcohol involved, if there is alcohol involved, it'll literally say that you won't be consuming any alcohol, which I'm sure at that point they could call you in for a test at any time. So now there is a thing where you'll be able to contact them, usually through the courts. It's like something where everything's documented, so they could see threats or they could see whatever. So in a way that's nice, because if you're being charged with that stuff, if you're the defendant, at least you have a way to talk to her about anything, as long as you're trying to see the kids, or you really can't. I don't believe. Yeah, looking at that, I don't think you can see her or anything, but everything's there recorded. So then that way, I don't know. It's usually called some family thing or something. I don't know, but it is something that it's all the courts will have everything on there, so you'll be able to do that. So it's not over. Even if you did do something really bad, and I know people who have, and if they did say that some of those classes could be helpful, but they would recommend making sure that you got a helpful class, because sometimes some of those classes just ran and all you do is you just talk bullshit forever and try to figure out how you shouldn't have been able to get caught, whether it's like the alcohol thing or whatever, or what you should have done, or way, but and then some cases are some classes are really good, make you do like workbooks and stuff like that. So if you need that help and you want to work it out, I don't consider it being a bad thing either, because obviously you did something bad. However, I can always have people lying to me. I don't know why somebody would, because especially with me, I'm not like your close friend anyway, and I really don't care. But if you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. And if you didn't do anything, I also want to talk about that too, because I want to be able to tell my friends, my family, my boys that I know, my son, that if this ends up happening, this is the consequences. This is what can happen. So be smart about things. Record everything if you can. If you come home and get into a huge argument, man, and you're not you're not that type of person to get physical with everything. Maybe even not even video, but just start recording on your phone. Start recording on your phone. Know you're getting into a fight. Just hit record, put it down, and just let it go. Maybe that might be the best thing, because in that way, for a fact it's being recorded. Anything that can say, you can, when the cops get there, you can record exactly what happened. So you see, this is where she came at me, and I'm telling her, I'm telling her, Melissa, stop, Melissa, whatever, so, it just bothers me, that things like that can happen, where, Second Amendment can be pulled away from, somebody so fast and they didn't do anything. I understand there's horrible people out there, and I understand that people do horrible things, but ultimately, if somebody wants to do something, somebody's going to do something. Who cares about the law? I mean, if someone's going to eliminate somebody, they're going to eliminate them, and that's a crime in itself. So what makes you think they're not going to be able to bring a weapon that they're not supposed to have and then eliminate somebody, or they're going to use another tool to do it. It's just like, I've talked before on a political thing about, how we as a people of the United States feared after 9/11, and we literally let the Patriot Act pass. And that's, oh man, just some of the stuff that we allowed the government to do without having to go through the courts was ridiculous. And we cannot give up our freedom because we're in fear. Things happen, I get it. People want to give up our guns. No. Like I said in another thing, there's been at least 4 times in my life where my gun has settled something, and I don't know where it would have gone, but it went fine. And none of my guns have hurt anybody, and there was no way cops are going to get here in time, or wherever I was. And shit, one time it was almost getting attacked by a fucking, I can't remember what it was, freaking bear. Maybe I was going to get attacked, I don't know. But me being able to have a gun, I was able to get some shots off and scared him enough. I mean, maybe if I just would have screamed, it would have been enough. But I'll tell you what, if the 2 shots going off, I don't know, and not at him, but just up in the air, didn't get him. If he started charging me, I would have unloaded on him. Second, on the other side, if me screaming didn't help, and that's all I had, I wouldn't be here. So maybe it wouldn't. Maybe he just would have took off anyway. But I know for a fact that was one of them. But there was other things dealing with people and stuff like that. Where I live, it's shady areas at some time. But anyways, it's just things like that. People aren't aware of that, And then all of a sudden, you throw up the DV to it, man. All of a sudden, this even goes out for people who falsely, just because you get so angry at somebody, and and they just like maybe move you out of the way or something. Oh my God, you touched me! I'm calling the cops on you. That's another thing. Yes, and with DVs in a lot of states, it will follow you forever, if not everywhere. I think in a lot of states, it will follow you forever. So if you're ever hit with a DV, you cannot carry a weapon. You cannot purchase a weapon for the rest of your life. A lot of people don't know that. Like a lot of times you're like, okay, 2 years probation, okay, I'm cool. Nope, DV's for life. The DV never drops off of you. Even if you get convicted of it and then you go through the whole thing and it gets deferred and they drop it, I've been told that the DV side of it for you being able to have a weapon will not be dropped. You won't have that other case on you, but you'll have a domestic violence. Wait, maybe not. If they do drop everything. So yeah, I think sometimes when you're be able to get it to defer, say if it was your first, not a lawyer on that, but maybe if it does totally get dropped, it would get dropped though too. But ultimately, if you're if you're convicted at all ever of DV, and say you go through probation and everything's over, the DV portion of it's never over. You'll never be able to buy a weapon or carry a weapon again, which I think is horseshit. Because once again, if you're going to do it, you're just going to do it anyway. But very much it just hurts the law-abiding citizens, a guy who makes a mistake, or a guy that just wanted to get it over with. He's not a person who does that, and then all of a sudden they're not able to have a weapon for the rest of their life. So, yeah, just if you have any comments or any questions, put it down there. I'll look them up for you. And like I said, the way I kind of do, I just kind of go off my own. I won't listen to some videos. I actually did look a few things up on this, so I don't want to get into that type of stuff just because it takes up more of my time. But I looked up some of the stuff. I also had some videos that actually I looked up specific things. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Just kind of bringing thought to a horrible situation that could have been avoided, and also sometimes using this as a tool isn't a thing to do, because it will definitely set the person that's being accused for major hardship, just going through all that, and then also the aftermath. If they just want like, okay, well, it isn't that strong, but we don't know how it's going to go, so if we could just sign this, you're also taking that point that if you do sign that It's like, say you want to do like a year deferred, where you go a year and you go through all the courses and you do whatever, and if you don't do anything, then they drop everything. You're still going through a year, and a lot of things can happen. You'd be at a bar, some guy tries to fight you. All of a sudden, now it looks like you got another. It's just you're just I mean, but you can work through it. I'm just saying it puts you in a really, really tough situation. And then also with that, even if you do, say you kind of settle or something to that effect, and they're like, okay, we'll defer it, this, that, and the other. There's also another added, that protective order is totally separate too. So you could be all fine like that, and okay, I can go home. No. You can come back to court in a month, and we'll talk about it. See all the classes that you gone and all that stuff. So you can still be doing that and still not be able to go home. Still not be able, even if your wife is the one that wants you to. In this case, I told you how I'm doing it. Even if both parties want to come back, it's going to be up to the judge, because at this point it's in the hands of the state. And I think that's because so many people like would just take their man back and whatever, and we know that's an issue. I understand that's an issue though too, but sometimes it's gone a little too far, I think. Like, I don't know what would be the answer, but I think it's gone a little too far. That's really tough. In a way we're living now, you got a guy that's out of the house, or man, what if it's the other way around, and the girl hit the man, and the man left, and now the man's all working, and you got 3 kids. She can't come back to the house, so then what? Now you're gonna make the man leave, make her come. I mean, it's really tough, because I mean, it really now, the way times are with money. Now all of a sudden, now he's got to get a room or a hotel or apartment, and all you want to do is just be back at home with the family. I mean, what, might miss Christmas, might miss New Year's, might miss a birthday, a major birthday, might have to spend graduation apart. I mean, yeah. Anyway, guys, sure you can come up with other scenarios, but just thought I'd add that. Hope you guys enjoyed it, man. This is a Tasmania Reactions channel. By all means, man, like, subscribe, man, throw some comments on there, right? Remember, stay in school.